y'all, SoulFox here. So, back in March, I was invited out to the GDC event in San Francisco, otherwise known as the Game Developers Conference. Now, I was invited out by the Pixility team, which y'all will be seeing more of them later, and all they asked is that I vlog the experience, have a good time, and let y'all know a little bit more about their game called The Patcher. So, this is how that trip went. So early in the morning, I hopped on a plane where I was traveling from Alabama over to Texas. Now, while I was there, I took in the views for a little bit, and then I witnessed two birds breaking up, which was kind of sad. Now, after witnessing that devastating breakup, which I'm still reeling from, I decided to take a break and play a little bit of Pokemon Go. I'm so glad I did, because I actually found a shiny Pokemon. Look at this squirtfish. It looks like a little shrimp, even though he's a lobster. After that, I hopped on my flight and finally made it to California. So I went and got my bags and hopped on the subway so I could actually get to my hotel. After I got out of the subway, I did try to make it to my hotel, but I was having a little difficulties because there was trees getting knocked over in the street. It was rough. The wind was whipping. I did eventually make it to my hotel room, and then shortly after that, I headed out to meet with HTC. They wanted to show me their new headset, the Vive XR Elite, which is a pretty dope headset. It has a lot of capabilities where you can add on different features. They have stuff like mouth tracking, and even full body tracking with these new trackers. They also had some really cool accessories, one which is an old school gun, which I absolutely loved. After that, I tried out a Yuki MR experience. So while I was playing this game, I actually had enemies flying into the room I was standing in, and I could see them just like coming through portals to attack me. I did post some stuff of this on my Instagram story, and somebody pointed out how much I look like PJ from Population 1, and now I just can't unsee it. After that, I did go to dinner with a Pixility team, along with my buddy J Brad and his editor and friend John. Sadly, I didn't capture too much because it was raining like crazy. So before we head into day 2, I want to tell you a little bit about Pixility's game, The Patcher. So this game features both PvE and PvP, which means you can take on the environment and you can take on players. And there's even a game mode where you can take on the environment while you're taking on players. It is kind of nuts. And speaking of nuts, the boss. Look at this thing. One thing I love inside of VR is whenever skill is implemented. And whenever you take on this boss, it makes you feel so tiny. And the boss feels so gigantic. I will say I think my favorite thing in this game is taking on the PvE, where you can head out into this area, take on enemies, collect currency, and then bring it back so you can buy new items. If you'd like to try out the Patcher for yourself, you can download the demo on Steam right now. I'm gonna have it linked in the description. I do want to say thank you to Pixility for sponsoring today's video. Not only for flying me out there and being able to hang out with them and experience all this, but also to check out their game. Now, let's get into day 2. I'm also really liking the art here. Like, look at this mural. That's so pretty. I'm sure they have some more around here. Hang on, let me look. Wait a minute. What? Is that the Pixar lamp? So after fighting with the Blondes for a while and checking out the local art, I decided it was time to head out to the Moscow Center so I could explore GDC with my buddies J Brad and John. But what was really cool is on the way there, we actually saw some Dino signs. I loved seeing this game plastered all over the city. It was a really cool feeling. So after waiting in a few long lines, we grabbed our badges and we were finally ready to explore GDC.
You're official. We're here, we made it through. Fox is with us here.
So as we made our way down the escalator, we were greeted by Resolution Games, where they invited us to come try out a very early experimental version of Spatial Ops. In this version of the game, you have a portal open in front of you, and enemies flood in while you try to keep them at bay with all kinds of weapons. I don't play a ton of mixed reality games, but this one right here gave me hope that they could be something incredible in the future. After that, we made our way over to the Meta booth, which is kind of like a home away from home for J Brad now, since we're both MetaQuest ambassadors. After that, we ran into a few of our VR friends like Skiva, VR Jasmine, and Eric Masher. I love running into my VR friends because even though we don't see each other often, it's like we're all a big family. We all just want VR to grow. After that, we roamed the floor for a little while, checking out different booths until we ran into the Pixility team. We checked out their booth and tried out an updated version of the Patcher. It was really cool to see how far the game's come since I tried it last year. After that, we continued to explore the floors of GDC. We ran into some guys who were wearing mocap suits so they could be tracked while skateboarding. We saw the PlayStation booth. We went over and checked out Pico. We found a retro gaming area. We found a giant fox head. Oh, it's a video, no! And then we swung by the Pixility booth since they were having a multiplayer event. It was really great to see so many people come by and try out the game. After that, we decided to leave the building and go grab some lunch, but not before we were confronted by whatever this thing is. This thing seriously gave me nightmares. It looked into my soul. It looked into my soul! So after lunch and a little bit more exploring, we decided to head back to the hotel. So we met up later for dinner.
Busy man.
Hold on, girl, now wait just a minute. I've got something to say, you should hear it. Oh, I'm happy.
So after dinner, I was heading back to the hotel while John and Jay were heading out to enjoy the night.
buddy.
Take care, bud.
We're gonna go find this place.
So on day 3, we actually, you know what? I'll just let Jay explain.
We are here at the meta booth right now. SoulFox is probably going first. We're gonna try out the fencing.
This is so close. So close. Oh.
So after our fencing match, we actually sat down and reminisced about what we just went through. This was a mixed reality experience built specifically for this room that we were in, and it was actually exceptionally cool. The physics on the weapon were exceptionally accurate to the one you would have in real life. Whenever you would block, the saber actually bent. I don't know that this will ever actually come out to the public, but I'm glad I got to experience, and I hope other people get to experience it in the future. After that, we went and had lunch with the Virtual Athletics League, where we sat down and enjoyed some good company with developers and friends. Also, I know what you're thinking, why didn't Soul touch the puppy? I didn't know whose puppy that was. Didn't know if I could pet the puppy. Missed the opportunity to pet a puppy. Sad about it, but it's alright, we're continuing on. After lunch, Jay had a meeting with Varo and he allowed me to tag along. And I can say I've never had a headset that was so crisp whenever it came to reading text. Like, you open the Steam VR menu and it's somewhat blurry. This was like, oh my goodness, it was like reading out of a book. It was so dang crisp.
You see what I mean about the text? Like, why is that the most impressive thing there is? Like, you look at the text, it's like, wow.
Everything's clear, it's not blurry.
Yeah.
After this, we headed back to the event where I tried out one more game I've had my eye on. Crossfire Sierra Squad. I absolutely geeked out with this one. The game itself has exceptional graphics, and it's an arcade shooter, which are some of the games I grew up with, so this was dope to actually see it in VR. And that was pretty much my trip to GDC. Thank you to the Pixility team once again for sponsoring today's video, flying me out, and allowing me to hang out with them and explore this event. I also want to say a big thanks to Jay and John for allowing me to hang out with them for this event. It was great to grow closer as friends and spend time together. They're great guys. If y'all enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here to join the Soul Guard today, and lastly, make sure to check out the patcher, which is linked in the description. I have no idea what my next vlog would be, but I really do enjoy making videos like this. So if y'all like to see more in the future, feel free to let me know. With all that being said, y'all take care.